Let's talk big news here. And I think the race is way tighter than 10 points. But I just want to get your first reaction, Mr. Blakeman, about that Siena poll that came out that shows this being really close, a 10-point race.
Well, the good news is that it showed that it's not a 20-point race like it was 6 weeks ago. We knew that was completely false. And now they cut it in half and say there's a 10-point deficit, which would be good news for anybody else. But we've seen probably 7 different polls that would demonstrate right now that it's a virtual dead heat. If anything, I'm ahead a couple of points or behind a couple of points. So we don't believe the Siena poll. They're always wrong, in my opinion. We looked at their data. We looked at their data collection. We looked at their analytics. We feel that it was skewed in favor of Kathy Hochul. There's something concerning to us that the poll was completed on August 6th, but they didn't release the poll until today, almost a week later. What was doing with that? So there's a rumor that maybe they showed it to Kathy Hochul ahead of time. So the polling really doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that every part of the state that I go to, especially in her home county of Erie County, people are miserable under Kathy Hochul. She's the worst governor in America. Our taxes are the highest in America. Our electric bills are 70% higher than the national average. Our economic outlook is number 50 out of 50 states. We have become a national embarrassment, and she's the most pro-criminal governor in the United States of America. So it's time for a change. I will cut taxes, I will cut your electric bills, and I will make it job number one to make every community safer.
Yeah, she's a fraud and a hypocrite. We know that here in Buffalo, and now the rest of New York State is going to know that once your campaign and has been kicked into high gear and continues to do so. Mr. Blakeman, I was with you on Saturday with State Senator Rob Ortt in Niagara County. Isn't it also one of those issues that she's not showing up for people? That if illegal immigrants had contaminated homes, the worst governor in America, Kathy Hochul, would swoop in with free vouchers for hotels and debit cards and new homes. And is she not turning her back on the people of Niagara County in her own backyard?
Well, she has, meeting with those people, and I appreciate that Senator Ortt, he has that bill pending that would be a material benefit to the people there and help them. So I'm grateful he invited me to be with him. But meeting with those people, it was heartbreaking. All these people were asking for was a little help from government. And Kathy Hochul's given away $8 billion of our taxpayer money to people who aren't New Yorkers. They're not even Americans. They step foot in New York State. They get free food, free housing, free transportation, and a free cell phone. They get more than New Yorkers get. And these people who are dealing with all kinds of different environmental issues, from radiation to chemical penetration into the soil and water of their communities. What Kathy Hochul doesn't realize is, aside from the health issues, which are paramount, these people, that's their biggest investment is their home. And one of the things that Kathy Hochul said last week that really was disturbing? She said that upstaters, people who live upstate, don't have the sophistication to make big decisions. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now, Stefan. I have traveled around upstate for the last 30 years. I did business up here. I ran for office before. I've met people from every part, especially Western New York. They have something Kathy Hochul doesn't have. They have common sense and good judgment. And she has lost her moral compass. She's now aligned herself with a guy who's a communist, Mayor Mondami. She bailed him out another $5 billion of our tax money to go to Zoran Mondami without requiring him to cut spending, without hiring him to hire cops. She just wrote a $5 billion check at our expense. So she doesn't care about upstate. She doesn't care about any part of the state.
No, you're right. She bends the knee to Kami Mamdani. He pulls her strings. I mean, that's bad enough, Mr. Blakeman, but her very first executive order. Now, you can ask, okay, is the governor on the side of hardworking, struggling families or illegal immigrants? Her very first executive order was cementing New York State as a sanctuary state. So what does it tell you about her priorities here in New York?
Well, she doesn't care about New Yorkers, and that's why they're miserable. And I want to be the governor that puts New Yorkers first. I want to be a governor that makes people happy. I want to create better jobs with higher pay, with better benefits, create economic activity, make this a vibrant community. I've got plans for Buffalo that I think are very exciting. When I become governor, I want to repopulate that city. I want to take down all of those buildings that are in disrepair and falling apart, keep the ones that are historically significant, where the architecture is beautiful, renovate them, repopulate them, make for a vibrant downtown, give the city of Buffalo money for law enforcement so that they can protect their city, which I understand now is a mess. I heard that they raised property taxes by almost 10% in 1 year. That's outrageous. People can't afford that. So she's not paying attention to upstate New York. She's not even paying attention to her own backyard.
Yeah, it's a raging dumpster fire, whether, from Buffalo to Binghamton to the Bronx. Under Kami Mamdani's watch, under Governor Hochul's watch, New York State has been turned into a raging dumpster fire. Now, let's talk about the election in general. Again, I was the Erie County Comptroller. I ran as a Republican and conservative, but I won my first election in an Obama presidential year, heavy Democrat year. Can you tell our listeners about your record in Nassau? How, look, you can replicate your success of winning in a Democrat area the same way you did as county executive and what you could do as governor?
So first of all, I came into office and I pledged I wouldn't raise taxes. In 4 years, I haven't raised taxes a penny. As a matter of fact, my predecessor wanted to raise taxes $150 million. I canceled that tax increase. And people said that I couldn't hire all those cops. I hired 900 additional cops and corrections officers and probation officers. They said you couldn't do it without bankrupting your county. Well, guess what? I've had 4 budget surpluses, haven't raised taxes, and I've gotten 7 bond upgrades, unprecedented. So obviously the Wall Street rating agencies like the way I manage government. And the most important thing, Stefan, is this. People in my county are happy. They're happy. They like what I'm doing. I'm a unifier. Zohran Mamdani and Kathy Hochul, they're dividers. They're engaged in class warfare, and they're engaged in activities that bring us apart rather than trying to bring us together. We need a unifier as a governor, somebody who's going to make sure that every community is materially improved with better jobs, economic activity, safer communities, and lower taxes and lower electric bills.
Well, I greatly appreciate you taking the time for us. I'm going to move mountains, do whatever the hell I can do here in Erie County to make sure you are our next governor. You're going to be the next governor. Greatly appreciate it. Bruce Blakeman, live on News Radio 930 WBEN. You've got an open invitation to come back anytime I'm on, and great to hear from you.
Thanks so much. It was my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to meeting you again very soon.
All right, sounds good. That's Bruce Blakeman, Nassau County Executive and soon to be the next governor.